And the best thing, and DJ, I couldn't agree with what you said more, we got to win, and I think we can play at a whole nother level. Right? We're up 21 to start that fourth quarter, and they go on an 8-0 run. Kind of let our guard down a little bit. We know we got to play for 48 minutes to go up 2-0 on Sunday night in our building. I want to give this to Aaron Gordon. Everybody could have gotten that award. Michael Porter, double-double, 14 and 12. Great job, Mike. Set the tone early with your offense sitting down, getting big at the rim. Jamal, 26 and 10, another double-double. Nikola gets another triple-double. And Bruce, great minutes off the bench. All right? We said this all year long, fellas. We're up 1-0. Congratulations, we haven't done a damn thing. Our goal wasn't to win one game in the finals. Our goal is to win 3 more. Bring it in, man. Bring it in. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Reeta, welcome.
Happy Friday. We made it.
Happy Friday, the day after game 1 of the NBA Finals. We just heard from Mike Malone. We saw the Nuggets post-game in their locker room. To me, we've been talking a lot throughout this NBA postseason about heat culture, but I just thought that video, with Mike Malone talking to his squad, like, I don't know if we're giving Denver's culture, enough credit. They may not have like a catchy little slogan, but to me, the way that he, gave Aaron Gordon his shout outs for the huge game he had and awarded him that big old chain. And then, like shouting out, it's almost like, yeah, Jokic, you got another triple double, but
right. Another one.
Calla would say another one. You got Jamal Murray, he's calling out. He goes around the room, gives everyone a shout out. They celebrate and understand, like, we can celebrate this moment. It's game 1. We're in the NBA Finals. Great job, but we got more work to do. It's not done yet. Also fitting in like areas where they needed to improve. They let down a little bit and kind of let their lead dwindle some, took their pedal off the gas. So just the way he kind of weaved in and out the many messages and just the culture and the way everyone responded in the room and the players and, look, Aaron Gordon even seemed like he was a little humbled to receive the chain when it was given to him. But he had a huge game, so he deserved it. Shout out to him. So I just love this. I watched this and I was like, this is dope. Their first time in the NBA Finals. What a way to come out with a statement in game 1. And I just really like that video.
Yeah, my favorite thing is I don't know if it's like them being humble or if they're just completely unfazed about getting everything because they played so well. And, or like it's expected almost, because everybody was chill. He gave, Jamal Murray, he mentioned him and his double-double. He mentioned, obviously, Jokic and his triple-double, which has become a normal thing at this point. But I just love how everybody's like, yeah, that's kind of how we expected this to go anyway. So I'm just glad that you're acknowledging it, but like, we knew this was going to happen. So,
And that was sort of the tone, right?
Yeah.
Of like, I don't know if I caught a little bit of some of the post games and like, they were just like, yeah, I think someone had like asked Jamal Murray, like, yeah, is it like a testament to you guys? I'm paraphrasing in terms of the variety of ways you can win the game. Cause some would say like those who cover the Nuggets and even them would say like, they actually didn't play their best. They didn't shoot that well from 3, they were living inside. Their size was certainly an issue for the Heat, but some would say they didn't even play like their best basketball and they won handedly. And we'll get to the Heat and what they can do a little later, but they were like, yeah, we can win in a variety of ways. Like, yeah, like just hella nonchalant.
And honestly too, Nat, they can win in a variety of ways, obviously, when they start hitting their threes, because they only had 29%. They only made 29% of their threes. And so I'm seeing a lot of people that are Heat fans in social media land saying, oh, well, we didn't make our threes. Well, yeah, but you made 33% and they made 29%. So I'm trying to understand. The math that I understand says that 33 is higher than 29. So that's not what happened. The issue is not what happened. And you see, I put that on my feed, is that the Miami Heat is just too small, because when it comes down to it, the numbers in the paint, the Nuggets outdid the Heat in the numbers in the paint. Then you start looking at the fouls. It was double. I think 15-8. Miami had that many fouls against the Nuggets, which tells me, that's an indication to me that you had to foul them because they're just too big. You couldn't do anything with them. So in the last series and against the Lakers, like, the Nuggets were just hitting everything. Tonight, they were struggling a little bit. And I don't know if that's, last night, I don't know if that's because they were off for 10 days. I don't know if they just, they did a little bit of rust going on, because I don't expect them to shoot like that again necessarily this series, but they just weren't themselves. And yet at one point you were up 24, I believe. I think that the largest margin was 24 points. So imagine what they're going to look like when they're hitting on all cylinders. That's the part that's scary to me, because I feel like that they're the bigger team. They're the ones that can go into the paint and do the most damage. I just feel like this is their time. It just feels like that this is the Nuggets' time.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about that this week in terms of whose time it is. And for me, I love watching this without a vested interest, because it feels like both of their times to me, honestly. Obviously only one can win, but up until this point, and it's only game one, it's felt like the Heat's time too. They beat teams that they weren't supposed to beat. They're down to 0. They've been on this magical run. And so I'm just like, which one of these teams, both who have great stories and it's their quote unquote time, which one is actually going to come out victorious? I think to your point about I think there is a part of fatigue that plays into that. They'll never admit that and acknowledge that, but you're coming off of a 7-game series that was not you had to expend a lot of energy. Jimmy got a little banged up in there. They had players that missed and then had to come back, so obviously they got banged up in that series, and then you have to go to Denver, who already has home court advantage, but then into the altitude. And I've never been, but every single person who I know, who has gone, who has been, who has played, they say it is absolutely a real thing, that adjustment to the altitude and playing in it. And we know, I don't think, even though they had a couple of days, the Suns, when they were playing the Nuggets, they flew in a few days early to try to adjust to the altitude, and that ain't helped them either. So, they're not going to make excuses for it. That's the kind of team the Heat are. But I think it's one of those things. And, I think they I'm not going to do the whole they figured something out, but you did start to see the shots start to fall at the end of the game. And then you did hear Jimmy Butler point out, in his post game, they needed to go to the paint, they needed to do a little bit more. So, but when you're settling a lot like that, that's also a sign of fatigue. It's a sign that, let's just shoot this shot, and also one last thing to the idea of they're going to shoot better. I believe they will. But who this team really is, is a question, because they weren't a great 3-point shooting team during the regular season. And that's the larger sample size. But I also feel like this Heat team and the way they've been moving this postseason, that you can't really hold on too tightly to what happened in the regular season. So even when people talk about the regular season matchup between them and the Nuggets, yes, you look to it because that's what any, logical person would do. But it's just everything they've been doing this season is either a crazy outlier, or is this really who they are? We just don't know. My guess is the answer is somewhere in the middle, right? And so The whole they shot 30%, like a lot of those shots start to fall at the end when the game was out of reach. So to me, it's a little misleading. Like they shot pretty poorly early in the game when they needed to be hitting those shots. You know, I saw you taking a shot at Caleb Martin. Talking about
did take a shot at Caleb Martin. I just listen. I just listen. 3 points is egregious. And I understand. Again, I think that the Nuggets are just too big. I feel that way. And so there's that part. But and look, Jimmy Butler did not have a good game, right? He had 13 points. Wasn't like he was doing anything phenomenal. But I just so happened to be like, wow. At one point in the fourth quarter, I said it was like zeros across the board. And I was like, wow, he's supposed to win games like this when guys aren't, playing well. I want to get back to your point though about Denver. I don't think that that's an excuse. I've been to Denver. And quick story, I went to a game in Denver, football game, but nonetheless, a game, in an arena. And I danced for, I don't know, not even hard, but like a minute, not even a minute. Had like a little jig. And for the next 3.5 hours, I thought I was going to die. I literally thought I was meeting Elizabeth in heaven, like my man Fred Sanford used to say, because I could not catch my breath for the life of me. As beautiful as Denver is, it will probably be my first and last trip there because I can't afford to not breathe, okay? I think I need that a little bit in order to live. Any place that you go to that sells oxygen tells you that place is probably not an easy place to live in, right? So that altitude thing is absolutely real. It's definitely real. Add to the fact, like you said, that they played Game 7 in Boston, and they really didn't have any time off. They had to literally travel, try to get their own selves acclimated, and then play a game. I'm sure that helped them be sluggish. Do I think that Miami is going to be like this every single game from this point on? No, I don't. I do think that they'll find a way to figure it out.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.